What's up, survivors? My name is Cap and welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you guys are here. Now, I've done a bunch of these 7 Days to Die tutorials in the past, and now I've been seeing a lot of people asking me to do these tutorials again for the newer version. This is currently done in Alpha 14.6, so if you're watching this down the road and something's a little bit different than the way it seems then, just know that they can possibly change things. For starters, one of the biggest things that's changed is that the inventory system's changed from the original tutorials. You don't have to know the specific order in which to put stuff to be able to craft it. But I want to go through and teach you guys a couple of the things you would need to survive properly on the first day. So I'm going to start off and teach you guys how to get some of the basic tools, because in order to be able to progress very quickly, you're going to need some tools. Similar to previous times, what you need to do is pick up as many small rocks as you possibly can. You're going to use these for a lot of your first tools. They're laying everywhere. Now, one of the nice things about this too is that rocks are all the same size. They've changed up the way the resources work now. Rocks are all rocks regardless what size they are. When you knock down bushes and grass, you automatically get plant fibers. You don't get grass that you have to combine. As you can see over in the bottom right hand corner, as I'm knocking these down, it's automatically giving them to me. It's putting them in my inventory, so you don't have to walk around and pick them up anymore. So I'm getting plant fibers. Now, as you see these little trees here and stuff, as you start hitting them, you'll see that you're starting to get little bitty pieces of wood. Now, of course, it's going to go slow trying to take down a tree here, but you get just a little bit at a time. So if you can find small little trees like this one growing right here, and you hit this one, you'll actually be able to destroy it a lot quicker. It doesn't have near as much life, you'll get wood a lot faster, and this will allow you to be able to start your crafting. And there you have it. See, now you have just basic wood, plant fibers, and rocks. They don't break down into sticks and planks and all that other stuff. This is the basic, what you need to get started here. What you can see is over here on the left side, these are the basic, most common use stuff you're going to use here and stuff. So you can click on stone axe, which is going to be the first thing you'll want to make. And you'll see that you actually need to have 2 small stones, 2 plant fibers, and 2 wood. And I have plenty of it here. Once you have it done, just go ahead and click on craft. You'll see it down here in the crafting box, how long it has left to go. And ta-da, you have your very first stone axe. I highly recommend putting all this stuff into your backpack. That way, if you die, you don't lose those, because by default, unless you change something, the only time you lose stuff is if you have it in your toolbar when you die. Everything in your backpack stays as is. The next tool you can possibly make here is a stone shovel. You won't need this one as often unless you're going to be doing some digging, but it doesn't require too many more resources than what you already had. Just 3 small stones, 3 plant fibers, and 3 pieces of wood. I'm not going to make one of those right now because it's not such a big deal. Now, one of the earlier tutorials I did for Alpha 10, one of the things I showed you to do for your first weapon was to make a crossbow. But unfortunately, in order to be able to make a crossbow now, you have to be able to have a forge, because you have to have forged iron. So they've made it much harder to get that there, but instead what you'll do is you'll just go through and make a regular wooden bow. It's a lot easier to make a bow than it is to a crossbow. You only need 6 pieces of wood and 3 plant fibers. Go ahead and craft that. And while it's crafting, you can close out the inventory window here. But something you're going to have to be able to find is similar to in previous builds when I was showing the tutorials. You're going to have feathers to be able to make arrows. Now, since we're kind of in this barren wasteland here, you're not going to find too many birds' nests laying down. You might get lucky and find some stuff in a bag. Like if you're searching through the trash that's laying around the world, you might get lucky and find some feathers. But chances are you're really not going to find many here. So what we need to do is travel to an area that actually have some. Okay, we've moved outside the burning forest area. We moved over to more of a temperate environment. We got some green grass and trees. Things are a little bit more pleasant looking over here. So what you have to do for when you're over here is just roam around until you find a bird's nest. They're laying on the ground in various places like this. And inside these and stuff, you have a chance to find feathers. Now, they usually give you a pretty good chunk of them. They're pretty decent with how many feathers you can find in a nest. You're not going to find one in every single nest, but you can see there's quite a few there. Alright, so once you actually have those, then all you have to have is 1 feather, 1 piece of wood, and 1 small stone, and you can make an arrow. Now, you can use these right here to decide how many you want to make at a time, or you can use this one right here to select all of them. So you can craft all 5. It's going to take 10 seconds to do it, and now you will have some arrows for your bow. Okay, also, if you happen to be new to the game, do keep in mind that you'll be able to see the zombies walking around from a distance, but that doesn't always mean they know where you are here, so you can kind of keep an eye on them. If you hit the control button or whatever you have it set to crouch, you can tell if you're undetected. That way they don't know where you are, you're pretty much safe to roam around. And now that you have your stone axe, you can use this to start going to town on some of the trees, and you see you get a whole lot more at a time here. It chops down the tree a little bit faster, so you get tons of wood pretty quickly. See? Pretty fast here. Now, one of the things you're going to want to make very early on too is a melee weapon, because, you know, arrows, they're good for being able to shoot them, but your bow is not very accurate when you first make it until you level up your archery skill. So one of the first things you're going to make is a melee weapon. You can make the wooden club. It only takes 5, and then you'll be able to have something to smack them in the head with here. You swing it much slower, but it does a lot more damage than if you try and use just your stone axe. The next upgraded version of a melee weapon you'll want to make is your iron reinforced club. In order to do this, you're going to have iron. You have to have 5 of it and 5 pieces of wood. Now, the easiest way to be able to find iron in the game when you're first starting off is to dig through the trash that you see laying around here. Anytime you have cans of food, if you eat this, it will give you an empty can. And you can find empty cans just laying around. Now, when you have these empty cans, you just click on them, click on scrap, and that will actually give you pieces of scrap iron here. So then all you have to do is just go into your inventory, look for iron reinforced club, and you can craft an iron reinforced club. Takes a little bit more resources, but it's a lot more damage than just the basic wooden club that you found earlier. And that just about does it for your day 1 survival needs here. You've got a tool, you've got a weapon, and you've got a ranged weapon kind of help you out here. Now, this is just a real quick, easy to access sort of tools that you want to make on the first day to help you survive, whether it's gathering additional resources or protecting yourself, because the wastelands are much more harsh than they used to be. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys so much for your time. You guys have a good one, and I will catch you later.